the Alley of Treats, the Dream City, and the original Uber Eats. This week, we're in Mumbai, India.
Traveling the world to bring you delicious dishes, tasty beverages, and interesting experiences. This is the Destination Eat Drink Podcast on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.
I'm Brent Peterson. Welcome to Destination Eat Drink, the travel podcast for foodies. Destination Eat Drink is the place for foodies who love to travel and travelers who love to eat. And this week, we're visiting with Pooja from a chef's tour about the vibrant cuisine of her city. But first, if you haven't done so already, please rate and review the podcast on your podcast app. It only takes a second, and it helps other foodie travelers find the show. And for the last 3 years, I've been living in Portugal, gathering the best things to eat and drink and things to do here. And now my ebook, Portugal, a Foodie Travel Guide, is available for just $9.99. It has the complete city guides to 17 cities and towns in Portugal, from the best known like Lisbon and Porto to lesser known but equally delicious spots like Beja, Lule, and Viana do Castelo. Download your copy at buymeacoffee.com/destinationeatdrink, and thank you very, very much. Pooja is a foodie tour guide for a chef's tour in her city of Mumbai, India. Pooja and I talk about the street food in Mumbai that activates all five senses, the market of paradise, and the Parsi people who fled Iran over 1,000 years ago and now make Mumbai their home. Pooja also tells me about dishes like pula and the delicious and crispy dosa. Okay, I'm starving, so let's eat.
Destination Eat Drink.
Pooja from a chef's tour in Mumbai, India. Welcome to Destination Eat Drink. It's great to have you on the show.
Namaste, Brent. It's great talking to you. Thank you for having me.
Namaste. I'm very anxious to talk to you about Mumbai today. It's such a huge city with so much diversity in it. And this is going to make the conversation a little bit difficult for me because there's so many things to talk about. But I think what I'd like to start with is, let's start with street food, because I think my audience is always interested in street food when they go to different places. And I talk a lot about street food in different places. And I think in Mumbai, this would be exciting. As I was researching Mumbai, what I saw was a place called the Zaveri Bazaar. And that looks like a place where you can go and have a concentration of places that will serve you street food. What can you tell me about street food in general and maybe the Zaveri Bazaar?
Okay, so when it comes to Mumbai and street food, when you want me to explain that as a combination, it's like a made for each other combo. As an example, I'll give you, we have a street food here known as vada pav. It's what I always call as shirt and button combo. It's my way of actually portraying it. So similarly, it's for Mumbai with the street food. And when it comes to Zaveri Bazaar, you're asking me about the specifications. Zaveri Bazaar is kind of a mesmerizing world of its own. Just imagine walking through some narrow, bustling lanes, wherein each step echoes with a chatter of excited vendors and customers. That air thick, like with the scent of essence, and you have all of this shimmering gold and glittering jewels that fills every corner of the street. That's kind of Zaveri Bazaar, which I call a market of paradise.
Oh, wow.
It's literally so magical. Plus those rich flavors that are available, they are not just in terms of food that we have. They are also in terms of people, in terms of the vendors, in terms of the behavior, the vibes, the energy. So yeah, that's Zaveri Bazaar.
I love your description of that, Pooja, of all of the colors and the sights. I also have to imagine if there's street food involved, there must be scents and aromas from all the spices what kind of scents and smells would we encounter when we go to the street food, when we try the street food at the Zavari Bazaar?
Okay, so this one's my favorite basically.
Okay.
We have we have a cow gully in Zaveri Bazaar. Cow gully literally translates to alley of treats.
Oh, wow.
So when I say it's alley of treats, it's not just gonna be treats to you when you're eating it. It's gonna be treats to all the five senses that you have. I'll explain you how. So it's gonna be treat to your eyes because you see all those different colors out there, the way they are making it and all of that stuff, different kind of dishes available in just one particular lane. So that's gonna be a delight to your eyes. To your nose, because of the different smell available all over, different sense of food is like literally specific talking is about the food here, specific mentions to the food. Then it is really a pleasure to your ears to hear that particular sound, different sounds. Somebody's frying something, so that frying sound, somebody's cooking that pav bhaji on that pan, so that crackling sound of different things being made over there. The sound that you get when you're actually adding butter, oil, or clarified butter, anything on a particular empty pan.
Yes.
And you're tempering it with different spices.
The sparkling and the popping and all this.
Exactly. That sound over there is on a regular basis. That crackling sound of papad over there. We get a particular thing known as masala papad there. So they have this thing of making it on coal. And after it's made, they break it into pieces. So the sound of them breaking into pieces and all of that stuff. So it's gonna be these three senses. Then you come to your tastings. It's gonna be
the best part.
Exactly, yes. And then later on, yeah, definitely you're touching it.
Pooja, you've painted an amazing picture here, and I'm curious, if we were to go to the Zavari Bazaar, what would be the first dish that you would look for? What would be the first, you said the alley of treats. What would be the first treat that you would look for that you said, oh, this is my favorite, or this is one that I always have to get?
It's difficult to choose a favorite though, because there's so much around and all of it is so tasty. But there's, if one recommendation, if I have to give in the Zaveri Bazaar, it's gonna be the pudlas for sure.
And what are those?
So basically, pudlas are gram pancakes.
Oh, these are the ones that are made with the chickpea flour.
Exactly, yes. Chickpea flour, or you can name it as gram flour. It's a particular sector of a chickpea flour. So it's made out of Bengal gram lentil.
Oh, okay.
You have to create a batter out of it. That batter you have to add on a really hot pan. Add some veggies on top. Cook it on both the sides with butter or oil as you like. You can have it with the cheese, without the cheese, and coriander is a must on top. If you don't sprinkle coriander, it's something incomplete.
So these are, you said vegetables and cheese and coriander. So these are savory chickpea flour pancakes. Do they ever come with sweet fillings?
No, they never come with sweet fillings. They are such vibrant, great color combination ones that it's like yellow, red, green, and you have white for the cheese on top. So,
Oh man!
But they are always savory pancakes. We don't have sweet pancakes as an origin of Mumbai food.
Okay. Oh, they sound delicious. I'd like to try a bunch of them, I think. Well,
happy to take you around.
Well, I don't want to leave the Zavari Bazaar too soon, but we can't stay here forever. As I was researching more about Mumbai, I was really fascinated with all of the different ethnic communities that have made Mumbai home. And this is not just a recent thing. This is over the centuries. And it's it's always a fascinating thing to talk about because when you get groups coming from different places, they influence the cuisine tremendously. And this is a lot of what I talk about in this podcast. But one I wanted to talk about first, and then we'll talk about some more, were the Parsi people who fled from Iran during the 7th century. And some of them made their home in Mumbai. What can you tell me about the Parsi people and the Parsi district of Mumbai?
So, if I talk about the Parsi people in Mumbai, I'll start with them being the best refugees India has ever had.
Hmm.
So, when it comes to maintaining good relations, Parsis have been the best people. Now, this is a lot more than food, actually. When it comes to the Parsis, they maintain good relations with everybody, regardless of your religion, regardless of your traditions, what you follow, and everything. That's just a way. Plus, they belong to the Zoroastrian community, so they worship fire. There are almost 25 Parsi colonies in Mumbai, out of which the most famous one is in the Dadar area of Mumbai. And we have this great Parsi community colony over in the marine lines as well. Amazing Parsi cafes, age old Irani traditional restaurants. Generally, what the Parsis basically do is they believe in the power of giving back the nature what they received from nature. So, what happens? These Parsis believe in fire as their god and they worship three elements: earth, water, and fire.
Okay.
So much that they don't burn the body because fire is God for them.
Hmm.
And they don't bury the body because earth is also what they worship.
Okay. So what happens?
So basically, they have a personal graveyard, which they call it as Tower of Silence. There's not just one, there are many more in Mumbai, basically. And that's where they actually put in the naked body in a tomb, wherein the flesh is eaten by the vultures, the bones decay and give you greens. And before leaving the flesh and the bones there in the tomb, they actually donate the body parts.
I think I've heard about maybe one particular sect of Parsi people in India, and they put the body up on in the woods on a big tower for the vultures to take the flesh and clean the bones. It's a fascinating way of approaching end to life.
Exactly, because it's like they believe in the concept where concept of soul, wherein after death the soul goes where the place of it relies, but the body is given back to the nature because you get the body from the nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're returning it back to the nature.
Yes, yes, yes. I think most religions and most spiritual faiths have some kind of feeling of, we came from dust and we will return to dust, or, we return to the earth or something like this. And this is a fascinating way of approaching that very human thought of being of one giant element, this earth, this universe, this space.
Right.
So let's deviate from spirituality into the here and now of food. And
Definitely.
what kind of Parsi food would we find in Mumbai? What are some dishes that you particularly enjoy, Pooja?
Let me tell you a few dishes
Okay.
that are really, really famous, and you'll find it at almost every Parsi cafe and restaurant that we have in Mumbai.
Sounds good.
We have this one thing which is known as dhan sak. Dhan sak can be a vegetarian and a non-vegetarian food. What is it exactly? Dhan means grains and sak means vegetables. So it doesn't has to be exact vegetables. It's basically a stew made with meat and lentils and vegetables.
So is the lentils the grain?
No. So the grain is the rice.
Oh, okay, of course.
So you serve it as a combination of Dal and rice. So rice and sak, like vegetables and rice.
What kind of spices would this typically have?
Just the okay. So when it comes to the Parsi food, it's basically a blend of Indian spices in their cuisine. So when people came in the 7th century to India, Persian food became less Persian, more Indian.
This is the idea of transplanted cuisine, which is when a group or a people commute to a new place, their cuisine necessarily has to change in some significant way because they may not have access to the same ingredients or spices. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're saying happened when the Parsis came from Iran to India.
True, true that.
What are some other dishes that you might enjoy in a Parsi cafe?
Yeah, so you have this patranu machi, lagano custard, akuri. We have mutton keema. Basically, Persian cuisine is often a balance of sweet, sour, and spicy. And they are mostly influenced by Indian spices.
Sounds delicious. I got to find a Parsi cafe. I'll tell you, here in Portugal, where I live, one of the things that I preach is when you travel around Portugal is always look for the Indian restaurant because there's inevitably in every city and in even smaller towns, we have a couple of Indian restaurants here in our city, not a big city, 100,000 people. And it's uniformly very, very good. In Lisbon, especially, there's great Indian restaurants. But wherever we travel, I always look for the Indian restaurant. We were just in the Azores earlier in 2024, and we went into an Indian restaurant, and it was packed. Not a big place, but 15, 20 people in there. And I said to the proprietor, I said, I wasn't aware, is there a large Indian community here in the Azores? It's an island chain hundreds of miles into the Atlantic Ocean. And he said, no, small community, just, 30, 40 people here. I said, well, they all must be in this restaurant tonight because we're the only Europeans here. They're all Indian people enjoying this food. It must be good. And it was really, really good.
Wow.
So that's my suggestion to you, Pooja. When you come to Portugal, try the Indian food, and you'll let me know what you think. Before we move on from the Parsi people, I want to just throw out one interesting fact that I found when I was researching this and that I didn't know. Freddie Mercury, the lead singer for Queen, his parents were Parsi Indians, and I did not know that before. But I was very excited to find that out, that Freddie Mercury has had Parsi blood in him, and maybe this led to his ability to connect with such a wide audience, because it sounds like the Parsi people are very gregarious, kind people.
Perfect. Yes, it's true. Parsis are that kind of people.
Let's move on to some other people who have made Mumbai home. What are some interesting groups that you like to enjoy their cuisine and you think are particularly interesting in Mumbai?
So when it comes to Mumbai as a city, if I speak about it more, you'll get more and more enjoyable moments sitting right there where you are right now.
Oh, good.
Mumbai is a typical diversified city. That's what I would call it. People may call it a metropolitan city. I'll call it a diversified one because people of different religions, different culture, different traditions live here as one. And what connects them is food.
Of course.
So Mumbai, since the beginning time, has attracted a lot of people from different states of India because it was known as the dream city, a city that fulfills the dreams of many people sitting right there because it was the financial capital of the world in the 1800s. So most of the migrations happened so that people could come here, try the luck, and live the luxurious lifestyle they always wanted to. Some of the communities to mention, there are a lot of Punjabis, a lot of Gujaratis, a lot of Sindhis, Marwadis, Maharashtrians are basically part of Mumbai because we are the capital of Maharashtra, right? Marathi people literally goes without saying they are based out of Mumbai.
Let's talk about a few of these. I recently had on a guest who is Indian American, and he was talking about he visited all of these Indian communities throughout the United States. And one place he went was a place called Bakersfield, California, which you don't need to know where it is except to know that it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. And
Okay.
they opened a truck stop for with a restaurant with Punjabi food. They serve exclusively Punjabi food, and that's
Wow.
because a lot of Punjabi people are truck drivers. And so they love going there and getting the Punjabi food. And you would never suspect this place, Bakersfield, California, would be a place where you would have Punjabi food. So it's kind of amazing. Tell me about the Punjabi community and the Punjabi food in Mumbai.
So when it comes to the Punjabi community, I'll give you one thing about them. We have a lot of holy places, a lot of restaurants, basically. Let's keep the holy places aside, please edit that off. Uh,
Okay.
uh, I'll talk about the restaurants that we have. A normal regular restaurant in Mumbai will also serve you Punjabi, North Indian rich curry dishes. But you'll find this that it's owned by a non-Punjabi.
Okay. How does that work?
Yeah, so basically, genuinely not a typical Punjabi restaurant, but all the North Indian restaurants in Mumbai, they all have dishes that are really famous and belong to the Punjab state of India,
Okay.
but they are sold by non-Punjabis.
Okay. All right. All right. So you've got non-Punjabis in the kitchen making Punjabi dishes.
Exactly.
What are some of your favorite Punjabi dishes?
My favorite is the dal makhani.
Okay. What's that?
So dal makhani is basically made out of red beans, that is rajma, and some black lentils, split black lentils.
Always good
This
lentils.
is slow cooked for hours and hours and hours up until it reaches perfection. It's very creamy in texture, really rich, uh, as as it actually uses clarified butter only to be prepared. There's a lot of cream that goes inside it. Um, a lot of Indian spices, just normal, regular Indian spices, to be frank. Uh, but when it's cooked and when you eat it, it's so rich in its flavor. You get that really soft bites of the beans, plus that gravy with the rice or the naan that you try it with. It's just amazing.
My mouth is watering hearing you describe this puja. So, what would typical Punjabi spices? What are we working with for some of these dishes?
So there's no specific Punjabi spice to tell you, but they'll use a lot of butter, which the Punjabis highly call as makhan.
Okay.
And this makhan won't be the yellow butter that we usually use in any dishes possible. We use the white butter, specifically. If you talk about the Punjabis, they use the white butter, which they call as makhan.
And so that's different from the ghee in because it's white butter rather than yellow butter.
And this is specifically what makes the dish, like luxuriously smooth.
Ha. Luxurious. I like that description, Pooja.
Yeah, because of all that rich dairy, that's the only word I could think of.
Yes, I think it's a good description. What other group would you like to talk about? What other ethnic group would you like to talk about? A religious group that has a interesting cuisine for us to discuss today?
Oh, we have cuisine from the southern region of India, which is on a healthy part. We already discussed about the rich cuisine, which is from the northern India.
Right, right.
we have a lot of cuisine from Rajasthan as well in India, like in Mumbai, sorry.
What are some of the dishes that you might enjoy from there?
So I specifically love dosas that comes from the southern region of India.
The dosas, yes.
Their taste basically is really popular because of the crisp texture.
Yes.
It is so versatile. I'll tell you. You can eat it really thin, crispy like a wafer. You can either eat it a little thick with a lot of gravy inside it, or you can eat that in a pancake format.
How do you like it best, Pooja?
The wafer type, the crispy one.
The crispy one. Okay. Good, good.
Oh, it's healthy wafer, Brent. It's healthy wafer because my mom always tells me that wafers are unhealthy. So I go for a crisp dosa, which is,
Got to listen to mom.
yeah, exactly.
I did want to talk about the dabawala because I think this is something very unique, the food delivery system that you have, and I'm not going to say anything more about it because I think you would be the person to describe the dabawala. What can you tell me about this method of food delivery and the people who do this job?
Definitely. I would love to explain about the dabbawalas. As we also have these unique, cute looking tiffin boxes available in huge varieties. So basically, this is a really unique concept, okay, and mostly followed in Mumbai's urban part.
Okay.
Dabba translates to a box or a container,
Okay.
and wala means a carrier or a person. We have a lot of this jalebi wala, chaat wala, dosa wala, pudla wala, and all of that stuff available, which ideally means the first half of it is that particular thing, the particular dish, and wala adds to as a carrier or a person. These individuals, they are responsible for delivering home cooked meals to all the office workers across the whole city.
What a job. I mean, there's
Yeah, exactly.
Mumbai's a huge city.
Yeah, currently more than 23 million people.
So how many dabawalas must there be? There must be tens of thousands of them.
Exactly, yeah. So basically, this Dabbawala concept is started in the 1890s, and the man who really did this was named as Mahadio Hawaji Bacche, and this guy he just began doing this as a normal lunch delivery service
Mm-hmm.
as he found this need. So, genuinely, what happened since the 1800s, when the railways came into practice, the first railway was in 1853. After that, it was a regular 9 to 5 job for a normal labor or a normal works person or anybody living a corporate lifestyle or people living in working in banks or going to government offices and stuff. So this was a regular time frame job, 9 to 5, 10 to 6, and all of that stuff. So in that time, the trains used to be really crowded,
Okay.
hugely crowded. And at that particular moment, it was difficult for a person to carry heavy bags with themselves because they want to go to and fro, right?
Oh, okay. So that's why they couldn't carry their lunch with them because the trains were so crowded. Fascinating.
They used to, but it was really difficult for them to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And this man, he started doing it as a beginning process, like just for a few people. And later on, he brought in different men with him to do this. And that's how it all started.
This is the original Uber Eats. Uber Eats before there was Uber Eats. 100 years before there was Uber Eats, there was
Exactly.
there was this. With all this delivery, this food delivery of Dabawala, in the United States and in a lot of Europe, here in Portugal, people don't generally eat their lunch at work. They don't bring their lunch with them. Some do, of course, but most of them just go to a cafe and get the plate of the day and a couple glasses of wine, and that's where they get their lunch. Is there not a culture of going out for lunch in Mumbai, or is it all this delivery going on?
So if I talk about Mumbai as a city, there are people who live of many different types and kinds, as I have mentioned before. It's a lot of variety going on in this city.
Of course, of course.
So, yes, there are people who go out on lunch and everything, but that doesn't happen when you're working. It only happens when you are off. Plus, you get a lunch break of some half an hour, 45 minutes. Even if you go to a restaurant and order something to eat, your break is done. Over.
Not enough time. You'd have to you'd have to eat it while you were walking back to the office. That's no fun.
Exactly.
I remember I saw years ago a video, and it was, people at home were making these. Usually women were making these at home, and the Dabawala were delivering them. Is that still the case, or are restaurants making this and doing the delivery of the Dabawala to the offices?
People at your home make food for you. If the husband is going on work, wife or the mother prepares it. If the wife is going on work, husband, father or mother, whoever's available at home, they prepare the meal. And like you have left for your office, the dabbawala will come 1 to 2 hours later, grab the dabbas from your home and then deliver it to your office in your lunch time. So this is what happens. The restaurant don't make it. If you really want to order from restaurants, we have Zomato, Swiggy, and Uber Eats, of course.
Pooja, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. It's been great talking to you. I've had so much fun. I've learned so much. And now Mumbai is heading to the top of my bucket list for travel.
It was my pleasure. It was really my pleasure to speak to you, Brent. And come to Mumbai soon. I'm also waiting for you to join me to travel Mumbai.
Okay, that's Pooja, and she has my mouth watering with all those amazing dishes. What a great conversation that was. You can book Pooja at achefstour.com, and that would be a fantastic experience in Mumbai. I've also got Pooja's contact info in the show notes. Well, that's it for this week. Next week, we are enhancing sandwiches with plus-ups, peanut butter with dill pickles, and niçoise salad on crispy bread. Yep, it's all about sandwiches with the guy who literally wrote the book. Don't miss that. Until then, there's a bunch more foodie travel content at destinationeatdrink.com, like the video of the beer crawl I enjoyed in Bruges, Belgium, that includes a tasting of a beer named for the crazy people of Bruges. You can see that by clicking on the video tab at destinationeatdrink.com or by going to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/@destinationeatdrink946. I also have a new story on the site. This one is about all the drinks that they make from passion fruit in the Azores, including passion fruit beer. Yep, it's a real thing, and it's delicious. You can read that at destinationeatdrink.com/blog. And my foodie travel guides are available as ebooks. There's 24 available to cities in Portugal, Spain, and Italy. You can even get my complete Portugal foodie travel guide. It combines the 17 foodie travel guides to cities around Portugal, and it's just $9.99 at buymeacoffee.com/destinationeatdrink. Destination Eat Drink is distributed by the Radio Misfits Podcast Network and Ed Silla. Thanks, Ed. I'm Brent Peterson, and I'll see you down the road.
Join us next week for another culinary adventure on Destination Eat Drink, a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.